Hello, everybody. I think live just started. I swear, eventually I'll have done this enough that I'm not going to constantly be like, is this working? Anyways, hi, everybody. I'm Haru. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes for people to join us, so it's a great time to get a snacky, a drink, whatever you're going to need. As we get into the finale of The Last Door. Yay, I'm glad it sounds great. I was just going to ask about the audio levels because I realized last time that the background music was a little low compared to my voice when I was listening to it later. And when I look at the bars, I'm like, well, it's not that much below my voice, but we want to be careful. We want to make sure people get to enjoy the beautiful music that this bizarre game has for us. Ah, yes, the discordant humming, the cultish behaviors that we have. I'm just going to give a couple of minutes to see if anyone else wants to join, and then I will get started. How's everyone doing? Do you have any drinks? I have a peach iced tea next to me right now. And a cat. That's not a drink, but I have it next to me right now. Here we go. I was like, how do I do this again? That's how. There we go. Yeah, there's always a cat next to me. Well, I'm only 3 minutes into the stream. I'll give it another 2 minutes and then I will get started with playing. It's a beautiful sunny day out there, which is nice to get to say, in the last day of January, especially when you're streaming from the Abyss. And it's not going to be a nice sunny day for Wakefield in here. I got 1 vote for Wakefield, so we're going to, when it comes time at the end of this, Wakefield's going to get a little special bonus that we will see when the time has come, when the stars are in alignment. One more minute and then we're gonna get going. And it's just as well I didn't just start because I don't know if the mic picked it up, but a car drove by and was really loud. So I guess I'll talk a little schedule while I'm waiting to see if anyone else decides to hop in today. Obviously our schedule is always subject to change. Things might flex. You might go an hour earlier or later, or we might skip a night or do an extra one for surprise. But most of the time I will be streaming on Tuesday late afternoon, early evening, and Saturday late afternoon, early evening, like in this time slot. And Z will be streaming probably, I said Saturday, didn't I? I just suddenly blanked. Tuesdays and Saturdays. Z will be streaming on Sundays and Wednesdays, and on Fridays we have a slot and one of us will be playing in it, or both of us will, or maybe neither of us will. We'll have to see. Friday's the Friday roulette. After I have finished The Last Door, next on my schedule is Fatal Frame 1. I love the Fatal Frame series. I'm going to be really excited to get into it with people. And yeah, I guess my main goal is I originally was like, maybe I can get through the entire Fatal Frame franchise before the remake of Fatal Frame 2 comes out. I think that's going to be pretty unlikely at the current time, since there's just a month and a bit. But I'm going to at least get through games 1 and 2, and then I can play 2 Remake right back to back, and then jump back in with 3 after. So, we'll see how it goes, but that's currently my tentative plan. I want to play Fatal Frame 2 Remake the moment it comes out. Alright, we're just past 5 minutes, so I am going to get started. Anyone is welcome to leave me a comment or say anything in the chat at any time. I have it streaming next to me so I can see it. Alright, come on, Steam, behave. Alright, as you recall, in the last finale, in the last episode rather, Wakefield got locked into this cave. They put a rock over it, and he walked off and found a strange place. So that's cool for him. Let's go to the season finale. Previously on The Last Door. Oops, I skipped. Oh well, no previously. I hope you watched it. He must be stopped. This is Dupre, the leader of the playwright, the cult to the to Zalathurg, and the bird, the Simurg. I think it's no, Zalathal is the name. Zalathal is the location. The bird is the Simurg. I combined the two names. We saw him last at the season finale, or the season finale of season 1. We have not come this far. To see our work ruined now. This is Devitt, the protagonist of the first game. Yeah, I love this opening music so much. If I sit here quietly, it's because I'm just jamming out to it. The Eye of the Bird. We left the black waves of that sea behind and walked through the mist. At time, gusts of wind parted the mist, revealing a barren landscape under a dying sun. At first, I could not contain my many questions, but Devitt's only reply was a grave silence. Eventually, I lapsed into an uneasy quiet and resolved to follow my patient, I knew not where. We wandered through the vast desert without any apparent goal. On occasion, vague shapes appeared in the distance, crumbling towers and abandoned cities, lost amongst the rippling dunes. The passage of time lost its meaning. I had traversed that world all my life, all the world's life. Our journey was eternity. Then the man at my side, whom I had followed for so long, stopped. He spoke for the first time. We are nearing the threshold. It is the starting point, Doctor, the first place to look. I will be waiting on the other side. Remember this, I will not be here forever. Darkness will light your way, but then you will be alone. Season 2, Episode 4, Beyond the Curtain. So, here's Wakefield. He's in a weird, foggy ruins. We can go in either direction. But there's nothing off to this side. What could my companion have meant? The threshold, I knew of this. Strange memories returned to me of another life before the desert was my everything. And those cryptic words, darkness will light your way, it was not the first time I had heard them. They were from a dream, a terrible dream, when I had begun to follow the trail of my missing patient and taken my first steps to uncovering the sacred beyond the veil. I'm stumbling my words today. I clearly need more of this iced tea. So we can go up through this archway, and then there's the weird masked people. In this place, the ancient shadows created by human reasoning tremble in sheer terror. Its name is Xylethal, the Last Curtain. Look to the sky. It reaches to the earth, but will never meet it. Can you see the magnificence of this infinite horizon, the cold, unattainable, all-embracing darkness? This is the outer limit of the threshold. Not far from here, the black waves of truth wash upon the veil that covers human eyes, and it falls apart. There is no death but rebirth. There is no void but awakening. Yeah, beyond the veil. Yum! And then I can't go through here yet, I believe, because it's too crowded. Oh, there's a person. I'm too tired to go on to keep seeking what was promised us. But at least here I am safe from the terrible hazard of peering through my own shadow. Wait, so we can't go through there yet. Sorry about the loud sounds. My cat just came and moved the entire mic. Girl, go lie down. No, don't fight me. Go lie down. Cat interlude. She wants you all to know there's birds outside. The scorching light of this dead sunset bleeds through my petrified fingers. My eyes burn. I feel them melting like candle wax. Cool. These ruins, built by beings long forgotten, grant access to the last threshold. You are welcome to enter the ruins, but you will need to find your own key in order to reach the threshold. The man at the entrance said these ruins contain the access to the threshold, but I see nothing. Devitt said it is the starting point, the first place to look. Darkness will light your way. What did he mean? The last time we needed to turn out all the lights when we did that. But I don't have that option to me available yet. It looks like a poster for a theatrical show, but it has neither a title nor a date. We've seen this picture before. It's the fourth witness. Perhaps it will prove useful. I think sound effects might be a little quiet because you should be able to be hearing his feet. Let me just... Yeah, that would be why. I turned them down for some reason. Alright, definitely. Raise your arms, for the wind calls our name. The hour has come for us to take flight one last time. These people are fine. They're normal. This is normal behavior. House. We'll go in there in just a second. Just want to look around before I go anywhere. Gramophone. These are all locations you might remember from Anthony Beechworth's house in episode 1. Like, the gramophone was there. There was the dead crows outside the house. This was actually in the basement. This is definitely Anthony's front hall. I remember this clock. I think if I linger on this portrait, I'll eventually start to hear weird sound effects. I'm actually just going to check that before I hang out here too long. There are weird secrets in every episode, and I pointed out some of them as we went along the way. There, can you hear it? Or is it still too quiet? I didn't want to speak over the weird sounds. There we go, weird sounds. This door was also locked when we played through that chapter. A root with a human shape. Keep an eye on my inventory. Yep, it just wiggled. There's something inside the cage, a shadow staring at me with dead eyes. So I think there's another sound-based one, but it takes me lingering here 2 minutes. I don't think we need to sit here for the 2 minutes to get the secret here. I'm just telling you it's here, and if you want to play through this yourself, you can probably find it. I can see something in it. No, through it, as though I were staring into a dark void. Off in some remote distance, colorful shapes flow in seemingly impossible patterns. Jeremiah Devitt, Edward Street 24, Westminster, London, correct. I should cease stalling and send it, set the plan in motion. But what then? Lead my old friend through this dangerous journey? The shadow is gone. There's something on the cage floor. A rusty key. I'm going to turn the sound up actually a little higher, the sound effects, because there are so many sound-based things in here, and they're just sound effects. It went back down again. What on earth? Yeah, second cat is now here and trying to get past my computer. There you go, baby girl. Let's see what's in this door we couldn't open previously in the real world. This letter, videte ne qui sciat. It will be enough, I think. It's time to send it. I'm just not sure that it's the right thing to do. My faithful companion. The words of my father. So much has happened because of them. Alexandra swears that this time we will succeed, that the hoopoe will undo all of our mistakes, free us from this terrible haunting gaze. But should we not accept the consequences of our actions? So much suffering, so many deaths, for what? What have we attained so far? The shadow has vanished. A slate disc. So the shadow is curious to me because rather than giving me Anthony Beechworth vibes, it makes me come back to that whole thing with his wife from the first game, where it's like there's the crying baby sounds in the portrait downstairs again, and there's the whole thing about how she had a baby, but that never comes up in the story otherwise. Like, you get the crying baby sounds and you get the knowing that she had a child, but like, anyways, I'm just always curious about that. I don't know that I have any theories, but maybe something happened to the child, and that's one of the reasons why Anthony threw himself back into looking beyond the veil. Go this way. That's fine. We have a slate disc now, and we know where a gramophone is. In the woods. Randomly. When I put the disc on the gramophone, it started spinning on its own. Wait, is that a melody coming from the house? There's another door here now. It's just the shadow of the lynx. Kitty! Kitty. I took it for a stuffed lynx at first, but I think it is actually made of wax. Oh my, I accidentally broke off a piece of its mouth. Wakefield, of course, has never been... Like, I mean, technically he visited this place, but he didn't do the things that Devitt did in the first game. There's a dead cat on the floor. I think it's rotting. It's... her eyes are missing. Boo. I know. But it's Anthony Beechworth's consciousness, and he thought he got rid of the cat in the first game, but you might remember, the cat actually was okay. The cat we freed, who was stuck in the basement, and it ran away. It's fine. The kitty's okay in real life. Warning. Warning, probably. You can hear the creaking sounds. I don't think that they show it again, though. You are of no worth to us anymore. There was barely any worth to begin with. Is this really the best option your supposedly brilliant mind could envision? A few meaningless words, a pathetic attempt of your guilt-shattered conscience to remedy the situation, and then you hope to wash the blood from your hands with a cheap exit. Look upon yourself, Anthony. See what you have become. Witness your only true legacy. Yeah, okay. Shadow. Is that Mr. Beechworth? I see something through the shadow, slowly taking form. This is his wife, Anna. Anna, sweetheart, how did this happen? Too late. It's too late for us. But he can still choose. I have to warn him. There's something on the ground near where the masked person was standing. It's a fragment of a broken mask. You might be wondering, can you go back to the house? And the answer, I believe, is absolutely. Yep. Which is good because these have all fallen away. And there are some characters here. Oh, I can't do that? Okay. I thought I might be able to get a wax impression of them. Alright, I'm just gonna draw that super quick. Just clicking again so I can see the second symbol as I draw it. It's the Neptune symbol and... that. Okay. They're both runes. It's not actually astrology, they're runes. If I was better at rune stuff, I could probably just, like, come up with their actual little names, but I don't actually know that. Alright, that person is gone because I did that particular task. You have anything new to say? No. You do not. Previously, sharp rocks blocked my way this way, but now I can go here. A large sea stack just off the beach. It has a lonely demeanor. I don't know demeanor of that word. This loosely resembles the outside of their old school, but this certainly wasn't here. Shadows linger in Za-Ilathal, like insects trapped in cobweb. At its center, the spider lies in wait. This tree is an ancient oak. It casts an eerie shadow on the building's wall. The shadow of a child is sitting in the corner, shaking in terror. I am not controlling Wakefield. Wakefield just went right over to this kid. As if peering through a keyhole, I can see things moving in the darkness. I like the style, but those themes. Does Lena approve of this kind of art? You have not lost your old sense of humor, Alexandra, even after what happened. Do you not recall that sight? I would erase the memory if I could. I find that painting makes it easier to bear. What brings you here anyway? It's been years since we've heard from you. I thought our lost cause had long been forgotten. Listen, Ashdown, what if I told you I found a way of crossing safely? Now, you all remember what happened to Hugo, right? Hugo Ashdown? Piano Man in the cliffs with so many arms and fingers for playing the piano. So what I found interesting is that at first you walk up and you're like, oh, it looks like the old school. This must be a reflection of episode 2, the same way that the first part was a reflection of episode 1. But it's actually a reflection of the 4 witnesses, like, perspective, I believe. Okay, same thing. There's a hole in the ground. Bye, Root. It's well covered. I planted it in the ground. Now let me go somewhere to give it time to do something. If there's anything more to do in here. Yeah, I'm wrong. Maybe I have to go away and do something else and wait for that to take effect. Let's go back down to the water. I'm sure everything will be normal back down at the water. Oh, what's this? A cave. Didn't notice this before. Grand piano is missing a key. That's not paper. Alright, just the piano cave. You know, things that were maybe sticking in Hugo Ashdown's memory. Oh-ho! What's this? Normal things. Alright. First things first, let's go into the matching cave. So there's an audience out front. They're wearing animal masks. It's missing most of its keys. But here is a piano key, a thing that I need. I don't think there's anything on the other side, just more animal people. On the other side, a tree has blossomed out of a coffin. This is in Mirrorland, so I have to copy these backwards. 1 second. Can't remember if the order is backwards or just the shape of them is backwards. But I put them in the backwards order, and I'm just making a little note to myself to switch them if I need to. All right. A massive tree has grown underneath the coffin, bursting it open. Some macabre artist has placed a life-size statue inside. Was it placed by a visitor, or does it represent another memory, or was the statue somehow... No, I cannot bear to think of it. I feel like the game at this point is equating Daphne from the part where Devitt was wandering in the mists and, like, found all of the weird musicians. Eh, there was a person with a tarot reading, and then found, like, this girl who used to be a singing and dancing star, and then found, like, the performing violinist who had lost his love Daphne. Anyway, and you put a violin in the coffin and it turns into a tree. I feel like this is equating what happens to Hugo with all of the limbs to the violinist turning into a tree. The statue's face has an evil grin. Okay, let me try this. Peering into one's own truth is forbidden. Were the snake and the bird to meet, ultimate madness would take in inhuman form. Ultimate madness would take inhuman form. So there's been an ongoing theme since the first episode of this game about a rabbit, a snake, a vulture, and I forget what the last predator is off the top of my head. Rabbit, snake, vulture, and I'll try to remember. But the snake and the bird are an ongoing theme, and I feel like the four figures from this are supposed to represent the four witnesses, the four people who were originally in the cult, who originally made the mistake and looked through the veil: Devitt and Dupre and Anthony and Hugo. But I have spent years trying to, like, figure out who is who. And, like, it's possible that there's also just, like, four eldritch horrors in this setting, because the bird, of course, is the Simurgh, and then there's a vulture in them and in the list as well. But I don't know. I'm curious, because none of the others actually really get mentioned. I mean, unless you count the beast from Eyeless Moor. Anyways, I'd be curious to hear what everyone's thoughts are. Sound off in the comments with your theories. Here's a door. The mirror side. Okay, there's a big tortured shadow over here. What is this? Shapes are forming through the shadow. I cannot look away. I must see. His name is Professor Wright. Right. Yes, I recently had occasion to meet a disciple of his. He referred to himself as a psychotherapist. I had the impression that Wright's methods more closely resemble those of my trade than those of yours. He is eccentric indeed, but I think his thesis may be proven correct. If so, we might have found a way of reaching the threshold without attracting the attention of the custodian. A shortcut, you might say. A shortcut through the veil. The problem is in the method itself. It has some unusual requirements, and we would need a man of great sensitivity who knows the peril of reaching the door. So there's another mirror exit here, but before I take it, I'm just going to read over here. The drawing of the eye looks like Saturn and the ring surrounding it. There's a note. It looks like a music sheet was left on the desk. Let's take it. It is backwards. However, if you can read music, I'm pretty sure this is... Let's just look at it again. I think this is just... Da 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 da, which is the song that Hugo is playing repeatedly that were hearing from the tunnels. All right, we're back in the classroom. We found the other side of the mirror, which is great because we need to go to the piano from here. All right. So I'm going to put the piano note back, and before I play that song, there are like I wouldn't call it like one of the mysteries, but there's like a couple of melodies that you can play which will trigger the "ooh, you got a secret" pop-ups if you haven't already got it, which I have, but let's see if I can... Oh gosh, this is not labeling what notes are what, so let's see if I can find... Okay, so that's mi. Fa. So that's one of it. I'm not good at it. It's the Monkey Island theme. Let's see if I can do it any faster. You can also do Indiana Jones and things like that, just for fun. This isn't telling me... Okay, it does tell me what it's doing. Fa, 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 sol, la, ti, do, 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 do. Okay, so it's backwards, so it's do, 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 ti. There we go. I'm just listening to the music for a second. I really actually like this piano theme. I can't play Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know how to play Bohemian Rhapsody off the top of my head. As I suspected, it is the melody I heard at Wright's mansion. What's that? It's coming from another place. Will it let me... Is this the real life? Is it just fantasy? Wait, I should look around in here first. I don't remember there being any more in here. No, there isn't. It's just an empty cage. Cave. That was a Freudian slip. It's just an empty cage, y'all. Alright. It's coming from another place. Could it be coming from over here? In the other... That's my favorite transition. Hi, Hugo. The threads converge on a distant point. Something's taking form there in the darkness. It's the writhing child again. I mean, it's our old classroom, but the shadow, who... I feel bad for Hugo. He's still out there somewhere. He clearly let us go. This is not possible. The shape's beyond the light. My fingers, no, do not come any closer. My hand. He was an artist, remember? He's thriving. He pops up right as this plays. He's thriving. So... yeah. There's something on the ground where the masked person was. Let me see. Where's next? Is it through here? Yeah, it lets me go, so it's through here. Alright, we got 2 more curious symbols. The last 2, you can tell because they were kind enough to put them in a frame. Alright. Oh, hello. Hello, Shadow. A tall figure stands in the woods. I might have taken it for a tree were it not breathing heavily. Inside, I can see things near the threshold, getting closer and closer. I wish I played this yesterday so it would be on threshold day for the Star Trek fans. I can't promise we won't turn into a lizard. After what happened to Father Glynn, I think they will shut down the school. Anthony, that thing we saw... I don't know what it was. But what about your father's diary? Myths, legends, superstitions with no basis in scientific observation. You're a lizard and Hugo's the father. Yeah. Anthony, talk to us. All right. My father discovered several ancient myths pertaining to the Veil. They come from a variety of cultures and hence take many different forms, but they all say something similar about what resides near the threshold. An ancient being that sleeps within the fog, protecting the door from intruders, a vengeful custodian. But no matter, at any rate my serum was a failure. We got but a glimpse of what exists out there, nothing conclusive. But what if the serum had worked? I don't know. As I said, I have no data. And those myths, what do they say? Those tales, they all say that if any intruder got too close and was discovered by what sleeps in the fog, then the custodian would be relentless. It would pursue the intruders and destroy them wherever they might hide. There would be few ways to protect themselves from its rage. Everyone sits silently for like a beat of 5, just like, welp, we fucked up, lads. Alright, so there's that symbol. So this is like when we're going through the fog. We have to be matching certain symbols with the exit that we want to take versus listening to certain signs. However, I'm going to look around the screen before going through, just in case there's something else out there that we want to pay attention to. Yeah, it's a big whelp moment, huh? I think that maybe he should have shared that information beforehand. You know? Like, I think that maybe it would have been at least the kind thing to do to be like, okay, everybody. We all really want to poke through the veil, but are we prepared to be relentlessly pursued and destroyed by the custodian? Things that I ask myself surprisingly often, like many such cases. Alright, these are the ones where either the symbols need to be swapped or they were just backward. I think they might need to be swapped because otherwise you'd still be looking at them, but... So true, bestie. Okay, this is the flopped snake, so let's try it. Alright, that's promising. Oh wait, no, I came back to the first screen, so... Or did I? That looks like the first symbol, but that doesn't mean we're back at the first screen. Let's find out. Oh, nope, here we go. This is the right symbol. Now there's a weird little dancing stick figure T. Here it is. And the last one's going to be a kind of curly QV. Oh, nope, we're back at the beginning. Did I take the wrong path, or is this correct? Let me look for the V before I assume. Yeah, I did it. Hooray. Is this Devitt? A shadow strongly resembling my patient stands in the clearing. I can see through it, just like the other shadows. 4 men are making careful preparations. I know not for what. But it doesn't look good, does it, Wakefield? This Captain Skid. Devitt, are you certain that he can guide us safely through the fog? His results are extraordinary, Anthony. It is the best chance we have of avoiding the gaze of the custodian. There can be no doubt that the captain survived an encounter before. He even kept a companion from harm. We will finally see what lies beyond the curtain. It is time. The inscription reads 30 birds. That's a lot of birds. At least 30. There's an enormous black feather here. Despite its size, it's extraordinarily lightweight. What's that noise? Something's out there. It's getting closer. I'm not gonna lie to you folks, I think that might have been more than 30 birds. Is he asleep? He is now. It has been so long, I'd begun to lose hope that he would ever awaken. Were you able to speak with him? Anthony, Devitt has forgotten everything. Everything. Good heavens. It may be for the best. Our research is likely to take some time. If he truly has amnesia, his condition will protect him until we're ready. But should we fail, remember what happened to Hugo. Ashdown entered the Vale in full knowledge of what might happen, and we will succeed where Wright failed. We will use the serum to induce primal terror in a controlled environment. In one stroke, we shall overcome all of our obstacles. But when the time comes, we must have a means of guiding our dear friend back to us. There, he will be safe. Uh-oh, Devitt, what happened to you, my man? Alright, there's another mask. An eyeless mask. It is similar to the one I found in Alexandra's safe house in London. darkness will light the way. I've put on the mask. We know that, man. We know that single pixel of blonde hair. Welcome, Dr. Wakefield. Alexandra Dupre? Yes, I've been waiting for you. We all have. We looked for you, Kaufman and I. I am truly sorry about your friend. Sometimes terrible fates befall the companions of travelers. The other world protects itself. It conceals itself within a veil, and it reacts violently when that veil is disturbed. I knew you would reach us. He doubted Kaufman would make it, but he knew you would. He? The first founder of the Order, the Artifacts. Do you not yet know his name? So yeah, like, did Anthony found the Order? Did Hugo? Hugo definitely didn't find the Order. Clearly it's not Alexandra. Yeah, Jeremiah caused all of this. Do you mean Mr. Devitt? Truth can be hard to accept. Yes, Jeremiah gathered us all under the same rule. Videte ne qui sciat, see that no one knows. We knew of the final truth which lay beyond the threshold. This is what the playwright was committed to finding. This was Jeremiah's obsession. The first language which is said to grant the power of creation. After our experiment at school, we realized that the path of the Ancient Ones was watched by a fearsome guardian. We needed a way to circumvent the inexorable gaze of the bird. I found Captain Skid, who had met the bird and lived. We decided to use him in a test. It was a catastrophe. We eventually found the survivors, but their memories were incomplete. Jeremiah had fared the worst. He had been left devoid of any memories that were related to our efforts. We were desperate to find a solution. Hugo tried and failed. And then Anthony and I miraculously came across a formula that had lain forgotten for centuries. At last it was time to bring Jeremiah back into our ranks. That was nearly a disaster as well. I did not anticipate Anthony's sudden madness, or the extent of Father Ernest's decline. Mercifully, Jeremiah's life was spared. But something else was wrong. When Jeremiah reached me, he did not remember everything. He had changed. He told me that he was going to put an end to all of this. He still means to acquire the first language, but he wants to use it to ruin our work. He has already crossed the threshold. Once he learns the final truth, none of this will have ever existed. The Order, the door, or ourselves. You must stop him, Doctor. You must stop him before the curtain closes forever. So I asked people to weigh in, and Diane voted specifically for Wakefield. So I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there to stop Devitt. Wakefield is staying out here, safe and sound. The moment has passed. Now it is too late. We are doomed. Once more, I found myself enshrouded in dense fog. Gradually, the fog dissipated, revealing a busy street in London. The mask that I had worn lay on the ground, melting like wax over the wet cobblestones. Dizzy and exhausted, I wandered the streets until at last I returned home. It seemed very small, as it always does after a long journey. As I removed my coat, I found a feather in it, in one of the pockets. The same one that I had discovered before being engulfed by the black mass of the Simurgh. With a jolt, I realized that it had not been a dream, and I was ashamed at how quickly I had deluded myself into thinking otherwise. I kindled a fire and placed the feather on the crackling flames. As it burned, I heard the distant calls of crows in the street. Despite the heat, I shivered. My patient and friend, Jeremiah Devitt, had sacrificed himself. He had accepted the consequences of his friend's actions, and his own as well. He had crossed the threshold, leaving the veil through the red curtain of truth, and forever closed the last door that had led to those horrors. But I had not found the strength to follow him. I could not take his place. I doubt that I will ever learn the fates of those who remained there, those who are hopelessly trapped in Za-Ilathal. My thoughts now turn increasingly to the last mission to which my friend Kaufman entrusted me. I must make sure that no one ever learns what we discovered. And that was the last door. There is a second ending, as you can guess from the split. Maybe I will stream it at some point. I mean, I was just looking at the time, like, I guess I could replay this section all over again. Anyone in the chat who wants me to replay it all over again right now, go ahead, and let me know. But otherwise, maybe I will just assume that you will play it yourself at some point. I do have time on my stream. I couldn't remember how long this took. What are we feeling, folks? I'll give you until the curtain in my heart closes. I could upload the second ending as a separate upload later. Yeah, just the ending. It's very doable. A nice little... I couldn't find the right word, and I was going to say après-ski. Après-eldritch horror? Yeah, maybe I will plan to do that. I have at least one achievement to still get in this game, so I'll want to replay it at some point for myself, personally. Thank you so much, guys. I love this. This is so cute. It was, like, these are developers who went on to make the incredibly critically acclaimed Blasphemous series, but, like, episode 1 had, like, 400 backers on Kickstarter, you know? Like, this game, if it hadn't done well and hadn't got more and more subsequent Kickstarters, I don't know that we would have got Blasphemous at all, which is, like, pretty, yes. Which would have been a tragedy for one thing. It's a gorgeous game, and, you know, Blasphemous is incredible. It's not a game I can play. Maybe it's a game that I can talk Z into playing sometime, because it's a precision game. Technically, precision would be possible, but it would take so many extra parts for me to do, because I am not very good at hand-eye coordination. That's my flaw. My major character flaw is my lack of hand-eye coordination. There is another game from the Game Kitchen that just recently came. Oh, do you hear it? There's a crow out there. There's a crow knocking on the other side of our game. So yeah, maybe I will. Oh, and somebody's walking around. I'll just let them do that for a second. It's not letting me click out the screen yet. Sounds like the crows may have found Wakefield. Uh-oh. Custodian's coming for you, buddy. Anyway, I might play their new game. What's it called? Let me look that up super quick. It is called The Stone of Madness. It's a tactical game. It's a tactical stealth horror. I am very bad at stealth sequences, but I might check it out and see if I can share it with you. Before that, though, there is one little extra mini-sode that I am going to play for folks on stream. The inner circle is gathered once again. A whole cycle has passed since the last playwright traveled to the land of shadows and fog. Now the mask with no eyes has chosen a new bearer. The path between worlds will be visited once again, and the veil upon human eyes shall be lifted forever. The playwright meets now the custodian of the threshold. It's the rabbit. An ancient being guards the door of mist. May the playwright take its light and stand by its watch unnoticed. So I'm fairly sure, I'm not positive, that this is Wakefield again, in terms of silhouette. We could only see him in silhouette walking back and forth. But the four witnesses are here. And the rabbit mask. Who is the rabbit? 4 wisps of fog shall reveal the truth. I don't know where I'm supposed to go with this. It's not giving me... Oh, there we are. There's stuff on the ground. The pyre of Zephyrus glows in the dark ocean. The boreal embers brighten the dark sky. That's slightly different. The austral flame shines within the dark forest. The fire of dawn scorches through the barren desert. The playwright will stand in the center. And the curtain will be drawn at last. And then its eyes were opened. And that's all. That's the last bit. This is a game series that I have like, as you can see from the length of these episodes, it's about 8 hours-ish, like 6 to 8 hours if you know what you're doing. I have played well over 40 hours. I have like 200 on my timeline from opening it to do various things, and I think I was trying to get some trading card drops on Steam. But also, like, I've played these games so many times because there's something about them that I just keep coming back to. Like, symbols that they've put in this game that I want to figure out, like, who the different creatures are meant to represent in that original spooky, scary story in Devitt's Dream early on, where the rabbit gets hunted. What does that... I feel like since the person in the mask is the lead of the head of the order, the rabbit has to be Devitt, and the other three are the other, the other members of the playwright. I feel like Alexandra has to be the snake for multiple reasons, like the symbolism of the snake. The snake is called Mrs. Snake, which obviously Alexandra is not a Mrs., but of all of these, he's repeatedly shown as the most feminine. The others clearly have wives, whereas he's more of a, I wouldn't say confirmed bachelor, but implied bachelor. And of course, like, the implication of the snake is the manipulator. And then I'm not sure. I keep coming back to it, and there's that weird play that they watch in the Opium Den that use the same characters, and, like, Mrs. Snake is cheating on her partner with one of the other animals, and I'm like, there's something in here that I want to dig into. Maybe I will at some point come up with some esoteric video essay, especially if I dig into the symbolism of these images of the rabbits and things like that from the flashing scenes of psychedelic trips through the veil and the threshold that occasionally flash up. But yeah, this was The Last Door, one of my favorite games of all time. I hope everybody also enjoyed it. Feel free to leave your own theories in the comments about any part of this and what it means, and why was there a crow at the end? Did Wakefield actually get out? What do the mini-sodes imply? And other than that, I mentioned at the start of this stream, but next up for me is Fatal Frame 1, which I should be starting on Tuesday. There's another game that I really, really love, that is also incredibly hard, so bear with me on it. I'm looking forward to showing that to everybody, and yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and like, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. I will see everybody again probably before Tuesday if you pop in on Z's stream, but on Tuesday at the outside. All right, have a great one, everyone. Bye.